All right. Good evening, everyone. Checking if you can hear me and see me. Yun. Can someone confirm before we move to the next part of this learning session for tonight? Again, good evening, everyone. My name is Felix Concepcion Veroya, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of Alpha TV. And for tonight's session, we will be having, of course, Alpha TV on demystifying continual improvement with our uh, special mentor for this evening. Okay, so if you are here and you have like friends and peers that still wants to join the session, please tell them that we are starting in a couple of seconds. If we reach 100 viewers, combined YouTube and Zoom will be giving away a special price, which is an access 100% free access to our project management fundamentals certification that we will draw after confirming if we have reached that number during this particular session. Without further ado, let me start the session formally so that we can maximize the time being. But before that, let me, of course, acknowledge our partners. We have iExcel CIE Review Center, Blessed, Startup Podcast PH, To Us, Data Analytics Made Easy. And to introduce our speaker for tonight, let me read his profile. Our speaker, during his academic days, our speaker was the president of the Council of Industrial Engineering Students from 2013 to 2014. He was also a Dean's Lister for the first semester of 2023. He also received an award for Best Feasibility Studies and Best Presenter. He started working as a cadet engineer in the year 2014 at Camel Appliances Manufacturing Corporation, where he was assigned to train in all the departments of Camel Appliances. In 2015, he was assigned and promoted as Operations and Systems Analyst in Production and Document Control Custodian in Quality Management System. In 2018, he graduated from Adamson University, where he took a Master of Engineering major in Industrial Engineering. It was also the year he was promoted as Senior Process Engineer, who is performing end-to-end validation of manufacturing processes, assigned to different projects in Camel and conducting internal quality audit in other sites of Camel, such as Cebu, Iloilo, and Davao. Outside Camel Appliances, he is being invited to schools to conduct lecture or learning sessions about quality, time and motion studies, ISO 9001 version 2015, 5S, and other productivity tools and techniques. Last May 2022, he was given the certificate as a scientific and technological specialist by the Civil Service Commission. His hobbies are reading inspirational and motivational books. He is an advocate of financial literacy and personal finance. In his free time, he enjoys playing basketball with his friends. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our mentor for this Alpha TV entitled Demystifying Continual Improvement, none other than Engineer Paolo Angelo Ogipon.
Hello sir, good evening po. Hello everyone, good evening sir. Rinig po ba?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so thank you Sir Felix for inviting me. Okay.
The pleasure is ours. I'll be giving you the virtual floor, and later on, I'll be facilitating the question and answer. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so uh, let me just fix my PowerPoint slide. Okay, so allow me to share my screen. Okay, so hello. Kita na po ba?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Aslex, Sir Felix, for having me here. It's been a pleasure po to share and for giving me the opportunity to share what I have learned in Camel, in my master's, and my personal experience as a industrial engineer po. So with that, I will be starting my presentation, the demystifying continual improvement. Okay. So for my lecture tonight, my outline would be the introduction, the importance of continual improvement, the implementation, the challenges, and the future outlook of the continual improvement. So let's discuss first a short history in continual improvement. So it was in early 19th century where Mr. Frederick Taylor, the father of scientific management, developed a continual improvement. So with an focusing on the scientific method to improve the efficiency and productivity. That was the time that there was assembly line and time and motion studies were considered in a production line. And then during the 1920s, Mr. Walter Shewhart, from the data gathered in the production line, he uses the data to analyze. So the analysis that he gets, or the methodology that he uses is the control chart, where it determines the behavior of the data. So doon makikita ano yung upper control limit, lower control limit, what is the center line, the behavior, the standard deviation, the central tendency, and andun na din yung inferential statistics. Okay. Then moving on. So after the World War II, Mr. Edward Deming was invited in Japan. So nung World War II kasi talo ang Japanese sa Allied nation. So what they wanted is to rebuild the Japanese country or the Japan. So what they did is they invited an American guru named Edward Deming. Mr. Deming teach the Japanese on the management techniques such as the PDCA and other quality management techniques that allows the Japanese to recover from the post-war. So with that, during the 1980s, where the Japanese popularized the Kaizen. So it was specifically done in the Toyota production system by Taiichi Ohno, also known as the father of TPS or the Toyota production system. And Shigeo Shingo, he's one of chief engineers. That one of his significant project was the SMED or the single minute exchange of die. And then during the 1990s, ISO 9000 and other quality management techniques were introduced. That includes the Six Sigma. So yung mga companies during the 1990s adopted the ISO 9001 and the Six Sigma methodology, where it is the define, the measure, analyze, improve, and control. So basically, what is continual improvement po ba? So continuous and continual improvement is used interchangeably. Kasi minsan, in my previous experiences, continuous improvement yung madalas na ginagamit. Although may ibang companies has been saying or using the term continual improvement. So ano ba yung difference ng dalawa? So in our research, or in my study, when you say continuous, there is a straight line 45-degree angle of continuously improving the performance. So as time goes by, the improvement, the performance is improving. While the continual improvement naman, there is a segment of improve, and then there is a maintain. And then there is an improve, and then there is a maintain. And then improve, and then maintain. So both are good, both are process approach, both are improving the process of the company. So they are both okay naman. So what and according to ISO 9001 under 10.3 clause, the organization shall continually improve the sustainability, adequacy, and effectiveness of the quality management system. So what does it mean? It is a continuing effort to improve the effectiveness. So when we say effectiveness, what we are pleasing in this term is the external customer. Our, like in our case, in Camel, the dealer, and then the efficiency. So internal customer. So internal customer, when you say internal customer, it is the interaction between the department inside the organization. So like for example, in a production. So our internal customer in the production is the planning and the quality, because kailangan maganda yung kalidad ng ginagawa naming produkto. And then sa ibang department naman, like for example, raw materials warehouse. So ang internal customer ni raw material warehouse is the production, kasi dapat kumpleto ang items once inisyu sa production to avoid downtime or yung pagtigil ng production line. Okay? So just to give emphasis in the continual improvement, so in the PDCA methodology, we're under the C stage or the check. So what we wanted is to identify, or what we need to do in the checking phase is the identification of any deviation from the target. So basically, what we wanted to know is, na-achieve ba natin yung target natin? Na-achieve ba natin yung mga plans natin from the initial planning and the action taken? So those are the things na tinitignan during the maintain phase or yung dito sa horizontal line. And then once okay, we also have to determine, did we create problems? One of the things kasi na kailangan natin i-consider when we propose a solution is baka yung solutions na ginawa natin dun sa problem is mag-create naman ng ibang problem. So usually kasi ang ginagawa ng iba is basta magawa lang yung current na problem, but hindi naman nila nakikita yung whole problem, whole system. Nagke-create pala ng problem. And that is something na we don't want to do. Kaya nga during the maintain phase, what we wanted is to check if what we have created from the solution did not go or did not create a problem. Next is, what are the feedbacks of the affected department? So when we say feedback, hindi lang yung negative, we have to also include the positive. Yung bang mga improvement methodology or improvement programs natin, naramdaman ba ng stakeholders or ng mga tao natin sa production or sa ibang ibang department? Kasi yan yung usual na na hindi nakukuha during the checking stage. Kung basta nagawa lang yung target, okay na yan. No, hindi. In a critical or in a meticulous side, yung feedback ng mga tao natin from the production to the operation, very critical yan because they are the ones seeing the problem eh. Tayo naman sa leaders, usually we have to know their concerns. We have to check what are the improvement, the effect on their work, on their on their department, if talaga bang naka-improve. Okay. So, under the PDCA pa rin or the maintain phase, so in order for us to maintain the improvement made, we have to assign personnel. So, what we are doing or what we need to do is to use the RASI methodology. So, when we say RASI methodology, it is an acronym for who's responsible. So, when we say responsible, sila yung person on hand na gumawa ng improvement project. Okay? And when we say accountable, usually sila yung leader nung gumagawa. So they are the ones supervising the project. Consulted, these are usually kung may third party ba kayong tinanungan or ibang manager from other department na tinanungan about sa project na ginawa nyo. Kasama na rin sila sa kinoconsult yung mga internal customers natin na kapag ginawa ba natin yung project na to, ano yung magiging benefit dun sa ka-interaction ng department. And then, last is the inform. So when we say inform, sino yung stakeholders na pwedeng mag-benefit or usually aside sa ini-inform natin yung management about sa projects na ginawa natin, kasama na rin dito yung sino yung makikinabang nung mga improvement, continual improvement projects natin. Okay. So, next. So, importance. So, ano bang importansya ng continual improvement? So, important. So, we wanted to increase the effectiveness. So, effectiveness in terms of customer satisfaction. So, sino ba yung customer satisfaction natin na piniplease? Ito yung mga external customers natin na nabanggit ko kanina. Sila yung consumer, business to business natin, partner natin. So once na na-increase natin yung effectiveness natin, that is the time that we have to increase our efficiency. So again, efficiency, this is our internal interaction between the one department to another department or the performance of the department, like for example in the production, kailangan mabilis. Siyempre hindi lang mabilis but somehow yung quality ng gawa natin na maintain. So, those are the things na kailangan natin gawan ng paraan or yung when we say increase efficiency, yun yung pinipertain niya yung internal customer natin. Okay. So, ano ba mangyayari sa atin if we don't continually improve? Okay. So, let's have some parang interaction lang.
Hello, sir? Sorry, hello? Wala po kayong audio? Hello? Sir Paulo, wala po kayong audio. Ayan. Check na lang po. Thank you. Yan. Sorry, sir. I think you still don't have an audio. Sir, can you try disconnecting your audio and then connect it again so that we can check if yun yung problem. Thank you.
Hello. Disconnect daw. Tapos, hello, hello.
Hello? Yeah, we can hear you, but there's some sort of echo.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Ayun, report sa camera.
Can you try to say something, sir? Because I don't see your camera, so I don't know if you're trying to speak or whatnot. You don't have audio still, sir.
Hello, sir. Mahina, sir.
We can now hear you.
Loud and clear, sir.
Um, Loud, not that clear, but doable.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay. Mas loud na po. Mas okay na, sir.
Yes, better.
Okay, sige po. Thank you, sir. Nag-change ako ng head. So again, sino dito?
Naka-off cam
Sorry.
po kayo, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So again, sorry for the technical difficulties po. Anyway, moving on. So sino dito naabutan si MySpace? Can you raise your hand? Nako. Mukhang wala masyadong nakaabot kay MySpace ah. Ito siguro baka naabutan nyo. Si Friendster. Sino nakaabot kay Friendster? Oh, si Sir Jan, si Sir Okay. So, alam ko na yung age nyo yung mga nagtaas ng kamay. Kayo, Sir Felix, naabutan nyo ang Friendster? Okay, so konti lang ang nakaabot kay Friendster. Si Kodak, alam niyo si Kodak? So yung mga dating nagpi-picture kailangan pang maghintay ng ilang araw. Can you raise your hand yung mga nakaabot kay Kodak? Okay. So at least ano natin. Okay. Eto, kilala niyo si Blockbuster, VHS. Oh, yan. So alam ko na yung mga age ng mga nagtaas ng kamay. Okay. So these are the companies that failed to improve or continually improve. Na sila, like what Sir Felix said, business will eventually die. So talagang na-obsolete sila. So with that, hindi kaya karamihan sa lahat ng Gen Z or millennial, hindi na kilala tong mga companies na to. So, eto, sino dito dati yung Nokia pa yung phone? Nokia? Naabot naman, 3310 yung pwedeng pang ng yelo, pang kaskas ng yelo. Yung pag binagsak mo, ay okay lang kasi tapos yung battery, ang tagal maubos. So sabi ni Nokia CEO Stephen Elop, we didn't do anything wrong but somehow we lost. So another big company that failed to adapt o failed to continually improve, nawala sa picture. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin sila nakaka-recover from the peak na almost before 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Every month, every 2 months, naglalabas sila ng bagong model ng Nokia. So, yun. And then, on a personal level, so, just want to show you something na medyo, somehow, if we will look at it, in 10 years, cameraman and pilot both lost their job. So basically, we need to upgrade ourselves. So with that, although itong si cameraman at saka si pilot, na iba pa silang trabaho, it means that if we don't upgrade on ourselves, especially right now na sobrang bilis ng digital transformation, somehow yung skills natin pwedeng mapalitan ng new technology. Okay? So what are the advantages of implementing a continual improvement? So first is, syempre, we stay competitive. We stay competitive with our kung ano yung industry na meron tayo. So that is something na syempre yung work, yung trabaho tuloy-tuloy. And then next is, once we do continual improvement programs, we increase our productivity and it improves our quality. Quality of our product, quality of how we do things in dealing with customer, in dealing with dealer. Okay. So next is next advantages is once improve natin yung quality natin and yung productivity, automatically costs are reduced. Kaya masaya yung employee kapag na malaki yung nasi-save nila. Some companies are giving incentives to their employees na malaki yung naging impact ng continual improvement projects nila. Kaya yun. And next it allows our employee and customer to be engaged on us. So once engaged kasi yung employee natin, merong discipline on their self na may initiative to perform their job well. They do things that will allow them to sila na mismo yung mag-i-initiate na paano i-improve yung ano natin, yung operations ng organization. And with the customer naman, delighted. So, the services or the product that we have offered, puwedeng sila na yung maging ano natin, eh, yung word of mouth na marketing. Sila na yung puwedeng mag-endorse ng product natin to their colleagues. So, yun. So, moving on. So, for the implementation, so how do we implement continual improvement? So, I will be using Mr. Tony Catyong. He's the CEO or the founder of the Jollibee. So, Jollibee has been relevant. They are one of the biggest chain stores, fast food in the Philippines and also conquering the world. So sobrang naging ano na sila, international. So I will be using Mr. Tony Catyong as example. So the first is there must have a long-term commitment of management. So when we say management, syempre usually we start on the top management, the owners, the stockholders, okay, for the continual improvement. Second is kasama na rin sa management are the middle management, the managers, the supervisors, the leaders. So, and then last is the rank and file. So there must have a long-term commitment of the management. Hindi pwedeng top lang, middle and rank and file, hindi. It should be all. Next is we have to communicate the vision and the objective. Why do we want a continual improvement? Siyempre, we wanted to improve the business, the profit, tuloy-tuloy ang trabaho. So, we have to communicate the vision. Why do we want to implement the continual improvement? Next is we encourage feedbacks and ideas through data and observation. So, we have to be open-minded that change is constant, the only constant in this world that will allow us to improve our operations in the our organization. And next is we have to provide trainings and seminars. Kailangan din natin i-equip yung mga ano natin, people natin about the trainings about continual improvement. Okay? According nga kay Pat Riley that the moment you stop striving, you're bound to get worse. So, that is something na kailangan natin live it to buy. Okay? So, next. So, let's go to the challenges of implementing continual improvement. So, actually, these challenges to continual improvement, I got this from the book of Mr. Ray Elbo. He's an HR expert, lean practitioner that ay nabasa ko yung libro niya na Total Quality Maximization. So according to him, talagang nakarelate din ako. First is the resistance to change. So ano ba yung sample ng resistance to change? First is we relied on such policy since the foundation of the company. So in other words, matagal na yan eh. Dati na yang ganyan, ba't mo pa babaguhin? Okay? Next is, our company is too small or too big to handle it. Masyado naman mahirap yung pinapagawa mo. Madali lang yung pinapagawa mo. Bakit yan yung ano mo, kailangan nating gawin? So those are the samples. Next is, that sounds crazy idea. Grabe, pwede ba yun? Pwede ba yung ganong idea na gusto mong i-propose? Okay. So, syempre pag ganyan, we have recommended solutions. So, first is, we have to involve the stakeholders. Without them buying the idea of the improvement, hindi siya mag-take effect. Hindi siya mababuy-in, hindi siya mag-move. So, kailangan natin i-involve yung mga stakeholders natin. So,
once na i-involve natin sila through communicating the benefits. Ano ba yung mangyayari once na na-improve natin yung process na yon or meron tayong in-implement na continual improvement program? Ano ba yung magiging kapaki-pakinabang niya once na na-implement yung continual improvement? Next is we have to address also the concern. Baka naman sobrang may involved na other risk kaya ayaw din ng iba or kaya dahil merong resistance to change. So those are the sample recommendations on the challenges of improvement, continual improvement. Next challenges is lack of resources and support. So ano bang sample niyan? It would take too much time and expensive for us. Masyadong mahirap yan at mahal. Next, hindi naman it's not important for us. Ikaw lang nagsabi niyan. Hindi naman hindi naman yan importante sa amin. Okay na tong ganito. Next is, it's quite difficult for us to handle. Maybe you can. Masyadong mahirap sa amin yan. Baka pwedeng ikaw na lang ang gumawa. So, those are the sample lack of resources and support. But we do have a recommendation. First is, siguro yung use our current resources muna. So, we start with kung ano yung meron tayo, under manpower, ano yung current materials na meron tayo, kung pwedeng mga scrap, ano yung mga current equipment natin, materials na kailangan to improve the process. So, yon. Next is leverage technology. So, use the technology na total free naman sa internet kung kailangan nyo ng mga resources, ng training. So, meron naman tayong makikita on the internet na libre. And the next is get ideas from cross-functional team. So, not from your department, but also to other department. If maganda na makakapag-benchmark pa kayo sa other companies, okay. So, from that, you can get more ideas on how to improve yung organization nyo. Okay? So, next is the outlook of the continual improvement. So, ano ba yung outlook ng for the continual improvement? First is the digital transformation. It is expected na yung rapid evolving ng technology natin that increases our efficiency. So some of the digital transformation na nangyaring recently is itong ginagawa natin na dati ang lahat ng trainings kailangan umattend sa isang conference, may isang area kayo, but now nagagawa natin to at the convenience of our home. So, tulad ng Zoom, and then meron din tayong yung mga datas natin nakasave na sa cloud. In our company, we are implementing yung improved warehouse management system. Yung mga filing ng leave namin ngayon nasa digital na rin through HRIS. So, those are the sample outlook na magiging relevant pa rin in the next few years. Okay. Next is the global and interconnected companies. So kasi online na ngayon, one of the outlook is we must diversify our culture or in terms of how to deal with other people. Since madali na ngayon mag-flow ng information, we can easily contact one supplier to other supplier kahit ibang country. And then sa iba naman, pwede tayong magkaroon ng client outside the Philippines. So somehow we have to, and on our part, in a manufacturing setup, more on the collaboration with the suppliers. Kasi some of our suppliers are from China and Vietnam eh. So those are the things na we have to improve or we have to look into moving forward in our company or in our organization. Next is the sustainability and environmental management. Companies right now are looking na yung mga operations nila hindi na ganun kalaki yung epekto in terms ng environment. So basically dito na yung solar power na kuryente, and then meron tayong waste reduction in terms sa plastic, and then meron din tayong mga other initiative and social responsibility that allows us to sustain yung operation natin para tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ano natin, work, and tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ano ng company. And next is the being customer-centric. Since the flow of information is quite fast, customer are now more of demanding, or somehow they get to know they wanted to have more response. The specification or the demand of the customer must be followed. So those are the things na kasi kung hindi mo ifa-follow yung mga demand ng customer or mga requirements ng customer, someone will. So those are the things na looking forward in terms ng ano natin, ng outlook ng continual improvement. So let's short summary lang about our topic. So continuous and continual improvement are used interchangeably. So both are process approach. No one is inferior or superior to one another, as they are both ano naman what they want what both the continuous and continual improvement, our objective is to improve, to sustain, to increase productivity, to improve quality, to lessen the cost, and engage our customer. Meron lang on the continual improvement part, meron lang tayong on a maintain, which I have discussed kanina. And then continual improvement, it is a must. We have to adapt to changes, and the commitment of the organization, of the people, to have the discipline na kahit nakakatamad or somehow demotivating, the level of discipline is high, so we could sustain the improvement. And lastly is welcome the challenges. Challenges, failures, rejections, these are part and parcel of success of the continual improvement program. So with that, that ends the presentation. So thank you for listening po. Okay. So I will now stop sharing the screen. Sir.
All right. Thank you, Engineer Paolo, for
Thank
that
you.
sharing. And we are now open to any questions that you might have for this evening about the demystified continual improvement. You can send your questions via our Zoom chat and, of course, via our YouTube comment section. Okay. Unfortunately, because we are only at 32 here at Zoom, roughly around 30, because it's less me and, of course, a speaker, plus another 17 in our YouTube channel. We're only at about 51. So we cannot draw the raffle for the free self-paced project management fundamentals certification. But probably in the next coming sessions, we can do that. Yeah. Sige, if there are no questions, I have a question to our speaker, Engineer Paolo.
Yes, sir.
Again, Engineer Paolo, thank you for sharing that what do you call this, properly compiled and prepared deck on continual improvement. My question is regarding the skills. What are the qualities and skills do you think a continual improvement employee should possess based on your experience, based on based on what you've seen. Maybe you were able to cover this, but just to reiterate, since
Mm-mm.
most of the people here in the session tonight are, I would look in as if I look into their profiles, they're more of graduating students and young
Mhm.
professionals.
Okay. Okay. I think the skill, sir, is when you do improvement, it must be a process approach. One of the process approach things that we have to perform is we must have the data. The data to back up our proposal. Because without the data, we're just a person with another opinion. So I think having the data first, compiling the data, uh, aside from not only from the data in the production, but you have to uh, look it or ask from the people. So I think sir yun po, yung having the right data, validated data before you come up with a solution for the improvement program.
All right, thank you for that answer, Engineer Paulo. Speaking about data and whatnot, what in this particular note, what do you think, or based on your experiences, what do you think is the most difficult part when it comes to data and the whole life cycle from the collection up until the use of this data for insights and decision making? From your experience, which among the segments or phases is the most difficult, and how were you able to do the workarounds about it in your line of work?
Mm. Okay. So in our company, since our the improvement programs are approved by the management, so I'm fortunate that people in our company is receptive with the continual improvement program. So in terms of data gathering, actually it's quite tedious or tiring because you have to go through the process of actually getting the data from the production. You have to spend time. You have to know the ins and outs. You have to know if if the what you're getting is correct. So you have to, like for example in performing time and motion study, I don't usually not only 10 trials, I'm doing 50 trials. So including all the Turblig analysis. So with that, I'm more confident in presenting the data since what I have scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. So once I'm being questioned or if it is presented to the management, I can clearly state what is the actual happening in the operations. So yun sir, quite siguro tedious lang or siguro yun nga nitty-gritty of the operation. So yun po. Mhm. Okay.
All right, thank you
Okay.
for your answer, Engineer Paulo. We have a question here coming from, of course, Engineer Alex de la Cruz. And the question is, if we have successfully implemented an enhancement in a process, how often do we need to review the said improvements? Thank you.
Okay. In our case, we have short term and the long term check. So usually in a short term, we give ourselves around 1 month to 3 months. Okay. And then longer term is at least 6 months. 6 months and above. Mhm.
So just to reinforce, you're saying that every 3 months every month for the next 3 months, it's for the short term, and for long term, is it like every month for the next 6 months? Is it the case, or is it like after improvement that's gonna be after 3 months, or and then the long term would be like after 6 months you're gonna review?
Actually, sir, it depends on the project. But if the project allows us to review in a monthly basis, like for example, in our cases, we have operations review before. So on a monthly basis, we can review the performance, or if the projects that we have implemented is improving, or does it affect the KPI of the department. So it can be quarterly reviewed if the data is generated on a quarterly basis. Yun, sir. Mhm.
All right. So
Mm.
thank you for that answer. Well, for projects like this, in
Mhm.
my case, just to put
Mhm.
my 2 cents, we have said, well, that's correct. It's going to be depending on the frequency of the measure, but for my experience, we always look into something that is frequently being measured, like the KPIs that
Mhm.
are being reported either daily, aggregated weekly, then monthly. So the
Mhm.
review takes like every quarter or every 6 months up until 1 year of implementation,
Mhm. Yes,
and
sir.
depending on the criticality,
Mhm.
um, that could also extend to some degrees, like more than
Yes, sir.
1 year. You're still doing surveillance audits and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Mhm.
All right. Thank
Mhm.
you, Engineer Paulo, for that answer. And from Alex, I think if the enhancement is relatively new, we can micromanage this and do a more frequent review. Thank you for your answer. Yeah, that I would have to agree
Mhm.
to that notion and insight from Alex.
Mhm.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions that you might have for this evening to Engineer Paulo, Angelo Umipon? Okay. Maybe I'll throw the last question because of the time being as
Yes, sir.
a constraint. From what you have experienced so far, what would you suggest as like a structured approach? Because you touched this area of having a structured approach on dealing with things, especially relative to continual improvement. What do you suggest to young people in our to our audience that they could like learn relative to continual improvement and having a structured approach?
I think okay. Siguro learning is intentional. Self-improvement is intentional. You don't have to, yes, you can have mentor. I'm fortunate that I'm so blessed that I have mentors, from my college professor to my first immediate superior in Camel. So right now I'm being mentored with my we have I'm mentored by my immediate superior in quality management system. I'm being mentored with I think on a personal look for mentors, because they are the ones who will guide you. Uh siguro yung mga on my case kasi, yun nga, I'm being guided. So, yun sir, look for mentors, siguro ahead of you. It can be your teachers, it can be your family, puwedeng siguro sa outside ng work niyo, yung pastor niyo, or yung pare, or yun po, look for mentors. Mentors that has good, values, yun po. Mhm.
Sorry. All right. So thank you, Engineer Paulo, again for gracing us with this comprehensive session. Oh, we have one last question, I think.
Mm.
Sorry.
Sige po,
All
sir.
right, sige. Because okay, so we're gonna read the question from John Louis Larana, and it says regarding po sa policies, can we really change it, though it's been used since maybe foundation means the start of the
Company.
company. Okay.
Mm. Okay. So again, like what I've said during the presentation, the only constant in this world is change. So if the SOP is not anymore relevant, outdated, it can be changed. But somehow it must be subject for approval. That's why we need data to substantiate our approval proposal or proposed policies. So if yun, so if can we really change it? Yes, it can, but it has to go through the process of data gathering before presenting it to the management for the approval.
All right. Yes, that's correct. No, it doesn't mean that there's a policy that is
Mm-mm.
existing or policies that are existing within the organization. You cannot change it. It will all boil down to what Engineer
Mm.
Paolo mentioned: relevance. If it's not relevant anymore, then you have to update it. So whenever you do improvements, that's the time that you also update policies. For example, there's an old way for you of doing things, and then you improve it. So basically, you introduce like a new element or a new step or whatnot, a new technology of some sort. Then you have to revise it because if you don't revise it, the policies and procedures, the work instructions, then it will not reflect what is being done, or what is being executed in the actual workplace, which in
Mm-mm.
turn will create divisions whenever you do the audits, the process audits and all.
Mm.
So it will all boil down to being updated whenever there are changes or whenever there are like new elements that has been introduced into this process or system.
Mm.
So yeah. Again, thank you, Engineer Paolo Mipon. Any last concluding words or statements before we let you go for this evening?
Yun nga, siguro just to reiterate lang, if you stop striving to become better, you're bound to become worse. So never don't stop improving, look for mentors, and then eventually it will reap up the benefits not immediately, but somehow as you years by mare-realize niyo na ito yung mga nagawa ko na nag-compound yung yung continual personal development. So yun lang sir. Mm. Okey.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulty using my
Okey,
phone
okey.
as backup device. But yeah, thank you again, um, yeah, Engineer Paulo Angelo Umipon, for this comprehensive session about demystifying continual improvement. So please connect with Engineer Umipon through LinkedIn, probably. So if you could
Yes.
drop your LinkedIn link here in the Zoom chat box so that they can connect with you. Also, if you could or if you would want to share your Facebook link, please do so.
Okey.
So with that, thank you again, Engineer Paolo, and we'll be going through the next part of this session, which is the concluding part.
Thank you sir, thank you po. Mm. Thank you everyone. God bless us all.
All right, so that was Engineer Paulo Angelo Umipon. Please do connect with him and try to collaborate and learn as much as you can from him. So moving forward, we would like again to thank our partners, iExcel, Blessed, Tuo, Startup Podcast PH, and please follow us in our social media. We are present at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And We also have upcoming programs. You can explore them via our website, aslikespeech.com, or even check our Facebook page events. We have our Yellow Belt happening this Saturday and Sunday up until the next weekend. We have our self-paced Yellow Belt program. We also have our live online Green Belt program happening on May 6 onwards. We also have the self-paced Green Belt counterpart. We have our Black Belt happening or starting on June 3rd. And we also have a self-paced Black Belt, by the way. We will be having our project management fundamental certification on the last Saturday of April. That's April 29. We also have a self-paced format for that. Kaizen Professional happening this last weekend of April. We also have self-paced for that. And our newest program, Certified Data Engineer, which will happen, I think this is not yet updated, sometime May. We'll be posting, of course, updates for this one. And of course, self-paced programs are still available, and you have to watch out for a big news that we will be giving you sometime first week or second week of May regarding our own platform at aslikesph.com. Of course, for especially for the live online classes, you can take it as a group. You only have to pay four packs. 4+1 promo is still up and running, and we are continuously looking for organizational partners. If your organization or company do want to partner with us, please send us an email at info@aslikespeech.com or simply send us a message via our Facebook page. And we also are actively looking for ambassadors to help us, continuously run our initiatives and programs and projects relative to lifelong learning here in the Philippines. We have a lot of free courses, and it keeps on growing at aslikespeech.com that you can take. And of course, now you can take a screenshot of this slide for your evaluation form. I'll be sending the link to that form here at, I have to get it, very quickly. All right, so you can now try to access it, and we'll be closing the form in 30 minutes time. So please make sure that you have take into account the link so that you can get your e-certificate for Engineer Paulo Angelo Umipon's Alpha TV session for tonight. All right. So with that, of course, only those who have filled in the attendance form will be given an e-certificate. All right. So I think we can call it a night. Again, thank you, Engineer Paulo Angelo Umipon, for this particular session. And just like what we are trying to promote to our lifelong learners, let's continue to be #significantly better through accessible and sustainable lifelong learning together. Thank you, everyone, and have a restful weekend. Bye.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer.
Apo, sir. Permission to leave, sir. Okay. Thank you po.